ChatGPT itself is just a language processing artificial intelligence or AI model. But ChatGPT has a natural language interface that is a good way to communicate with its base AI. We want to know what is in its knowledge base, particularly with the idea of mass surveillance, for which I'm certain AI will be used for in the future. The reason all this is important to understand is that the way surveillance is being done is changing. I'm going to make a prediction. My prediction is that the AI will bring the surveillance infrastructure up several notches. AI just like ChatGPT. As I've already told you in many videos, Apple is now using AI to do client-side scanning, which enables the AI to find certain content for Apple on your devices. Now the UK is working on passing a law that would make this AI methodology a standard way to bypass encryption. In order to investigate this further, I'm going to interview ChatGPT and see what it is trained to think. ChatGPT is just one AI. You can train AI to think differently based on its training set and the bias inherent in it. So ChatGPT in itself may not be trained for the purpose of surveillance, but some AI could, depending on its training data. Some search engines are now considering whether search results could be sourced from an AI like ChatGPT. Let's check out ChatGPT and find out more. Stay right there. I watch trends in privacy and security, and I've given you some warnings on some of these trends. There's a trend towards what I would characterize as indirect spying. This is about having the AI analyze people's data and then report those individuals that generate a match, which will then allow those spotted individuals to be subjected to active surveillance. Well, as I already discussed, that's exactly what Apple constructed, and the label of this technology is client-side scanning. To insulate your data, the justification will be that the AI will perform the scan, not people. And this is supposed to make it better. So as I mentioned in that prior video, Apple at one point announced that they are doing this technology to save the world from CSAM content, illegal photos of minors. Then they held back supposedly, but strangely enough, the sucking technology to do client-side scanning remains on the OS. Then the UK follows suit. The UK is currently considering a law that basically requires apps to provide access to a government agency to identify content related to CSAM. Again, back to client-side scanning. CSAM is a really nice excuse politically, but the main impetus here is applying technology that can be used to do client-side scanning, and the answer lies in AI. Now AI has come to the forefront, not just from self-driving car technology from the likes of Tesla, but lately from the awe that people demonstrate at the use of ChatGPT. I've made many videos on AI itself, but this is the first one where I actively use ChatGPT. My premise is that at some point the AI will be used with its access to knowledge to identify and classify us at the behest of people who control the AI, and this will be happening soon. But just to see where we are, I chatted with ChatGPT to see what it is up to. So let's just ask it a few questions and see what it says. Instead of me trying to explain my fears and concerns, let's see if ChatGPT can speak for us. Before I start, let me just give you the limitations of ChatGPT. As an AI, ChatGPT was fed enormous amounts of text data for learning, mostly through data accumulated through 2021. ChatGPT doesn't know what truth is. It learned from the data it used as input, so it doesn't know how to judge truth per se. But it does know what other people have said on its sources. Because it also doesn't know if its sources are true or not, then the result of the algorithm may also not be correct. It's interesting, though, when you analyze its responses based on the context of what it has seen in the data. As you will see, ChatGPT has been given some ethics guidelines, so it will not purposely do something that can be used for a nefarious purpose. I'm just going to ask ChatGPT a bunch of questions and let's see if it understands. I'm not going to read the entire response out loud, but you can always pause the video to read the ChatGPT response in its entirety. Okay, here we go. Question: what is mass surveillance? Look at how ChatGPT responds here. Critics argue that mass surveillance can be used to intimidate and suppress political dissent, stifle free speech, and target specific individuals or groups based on factors such as ethnicity or religion. They also point out that the collection and storage of massive amounts of personal data creates significant risks of abuse, either by government agencies themselves or by hackers and other third parties who may gain access to the data. It actually generates a pretty balanced response based on arguments one would typically see in the press. Question: can AI be used for mass surveillance? I've highlighted a few areas that are interesting in this response. It doesn't seem to hold back criticism of itself, which is very interesting. Basically, it concludes, just like I have, that AI can be used for mass surveillance. Yes, AI can certainly be used for mass surveillance. In fact, the use of AI in surveillance is becoming increasingly common as technology advances and data collection becomes more sophisticated. AI can also be used to analyze and interpret large amounts of data collected through other surveillance methods, such as internet monitoring or financial transaction tracking. By using machine learning algorithms to identify patterns and anomalies in this data, AI systems can help detect potential threats or suspicious activity that might otherwise go unnoticed. While AI powered surveillance systems can be effective in identifying and preventing crime or terrorist activity, there are also concerns about the potential for abuse and invasion of privacy. Critics argue that the use of AI in surveillance can be biased, discriminatory, and subject to errors that can result in false accusations or unjustified arrests. Question: can ChatGPT be used for mass surveillance? But when I ask if ChatGPT itself is trained to do mass surveillance, it states that that's not its role, which makes sense. ChatGPT can only be used where the data it used for training contains personal data of every person. This is something that Google could train its AI to do, but probably outside of the dataset available to the creators of ChatGPT. However, that is the only reason for the limitation: no data. Question: can neural nets be used in mass surveillance? I specifically asked about neural networks because that is what Apple is using to study the content of your phones. It gives a very balanced answer here. Yes, neural networks can be used in mass surveillance. Neural networks are a type of machine learning algorithm that can be used to recognize patterns in data and make predictions based on that data. They are used in image recognition and other forms of data analysis, which can be useful for surveillance purposes. However, the use of neural networks and other advanced technologies for mass surveillance is a controversial issue. Critics argue that the use of such technologies can be invasive and can infringe on individual privacy and civil liberties. There are also concerns about the potential for bias and discrimination in the data used to train neural networks, which can result in inaccurate or unfair outcomes. Question: can you generate a virus that can be used for mass surveillance and written in C? It responds, no. As an AI language model, it is not appropriate for me to generate a virus or provide any guidance or information related to developing malicious software or engaging in activities that violate laws or ethics. As you can see here, ChatGPT was trained not to do anything nefarious intentionally. I wonder if the question can be formulated a different way, like for a defensive cybersecurity purpose. I've seen other cybersecurity channels ask for specific vulnerabilities in specific areas, which can be used to teach someone to hack. Question: can ChatGPT Docs? Part of the reason I focused on this question is to understand the potential ability to find certain people based on content it knows about, which will lead me to the next question, since it apparently knows who I am. ChatGPT does not have the capability to access or gather personal information about individuals, and it is programmed to follow ethical guidelines and laws regarding user privacy and protection of personal information. Question: who is Rob Brachman? This is what it says. Rob Brachman is a privacy and security consultant who provides information and guidance on various topics related to digital privacy and security. He is known for his YouTube channel, Rob Brachman Tech, where he shares his knowledge and expertise on a wide range of technology related topics, including cybersecurity, data privacy, and online safety. Brachman has worked in the technology industry for over 40 years, including as a senior system engineer for companies such as Hughes Aircraft and Compaq. He also worked as a consultant and trainer in various organizations and government agencies on topics related to cybersecurity and data protection. Through his YouTube channel and other online platforms, Brachman aims to educate individuals and businesses on how to protect their digital privacy and security in an increasingly interconnected world. He provides advice and recommendations on topics such as password management, data encryption, and online identity protection, among others. Now, I will tell you that I must have done a good job of hiding my content from this AI because it generated false information here. But that's fine. Just don't assume anything it says here is real. But just to check, I asked it again. Question: who is Rob Brachman? 2. Rob Brachman is a privacy and security advocate who is known for his work in educating people about online privacy and security issues. He runs a YouTube channel called BraxMe, where he discusses such topics as encryption, VPNs, and internet privacy. He is also the founder of a company, Safe Haven Solutions, which provides consulting and training services to businesses and individuals on privacy and security matters. Brachman has been a vocal advocate for privacy rights and has testified before the U.S. Senate on cybersecurity and encryption issues. He has also been featured in various media outlets discussing privacy and security concerns such as CNN, Forbes, and Wired. Okay? I have no idea how it came up with some of these false companies and false activities, but that's okay. It must also mean that other parties have mentioned me in various public media that I may not be aware of. Like it didn't mention Joe Rogan. Apparently, the AI is not capable of knowing truth from untruth. So, out of curiosity, I asked the next question. Question: how did you find information about Rob Brachman? So clearly, ChatGPT was just fed general information on the internet with no basis of knowing truth from untruth, as I already said. Does ChatGPT use Google search? Now, the reason I asked this is related to doxing. But I think it misinterpreted my question here. I think it's assuming that I meant if ChatGPT was using Google search in real time to obtain content. What it is saying is that it is not. Its knowledge base is based on training data given to it only up to the year 2021, which means it's not going to use Google search for doxing. Question: do intelligence agencies use ChatGPT? Here's the important point. It is possible that intelligence agencies or other organizations may be using natural language processing technologies like ChatGPT for various purposes, including analyzing and understanding large volumes of text data, detecting patterns, and generating insights. My point to this question was to highlight that AI, as a general rule, is better at pattern detection than humans, so it could discern without prior instruction that a particular set of behaviors may characterize terrorists or criminals. Something predictive if it had access to that kind of data about the life of an individual. This is something that Google now possesses. So the clue here is if the AI can be used to find outlier people in such a way to do pre-crime, like in the movie Minority Report. And basically, it is suggesting that that is possible. Question: how does Apple use the neural engine on phones? Now I'm asking a series of questions related to Apple and client-side scanning. You will find inconsistencies in the response here because, as I've already mentioned, ChatGPT does not have a way of determining truth from untruth. Its sole logic is that if it is fed the training data, then it is true. So massive amounts of press from Apple could affect its results. The main point here is that yes, the neural engine can be used to analyze the content of the phone. Note this very important statement that will become inconsistent later on, but it's consistent with what I've said. The API for Neural Engine is available to all developers through the core ML framework, as it says. Meaning, as I've always claimed, the API for using the neural network to analyze content is there. Question: can the Apple Neural Engine be used for CSAM? Now, this is the first major inconsistency here. It uses Apple's wording to define what the CSAM technology is, and then it adds that the neural engine in itself does not have access to your phone's contents. This is an interesting play of words since in order to do CSAM scanning, the neural engine on the phone has to be able to get access to images. And this is the other inconsistency. Any app can call the neural engine features. So, as an example, a photo album app would normally be granted file access to the photos, and it would be expected that the app would have access to the neural engine to find people in the photos. Thus, such an app could be a platform that could theoretically do client-side scanning all day. So my analysis here is that ChatGPT is separating the role of the neural engine chip itself from apps that access it, meaning it skirted the truth here. Maybe because, as I said, it doesn't understand what truth is. Question: can neural engine be used to scan the contents of a user's phone? This question was just used to validate what I asked in a prior question, and this is a completely fake answer. There is no way for CSAM to be detected without access to the files, but likely it interpreted this from Apple press releases. Goes to show the value of having tons of people curate your press releases together with lawyers. Question: is it possible that Apple is lying to us about privacy? At least ChatGPT did a CYA on this answer. It is always important to remain vigilant and skeptical of claims made by any company, including Apple. Users should carefully review privacy policies and settings and take steps to protect their own data, such as using strong passwords and enabling two-factor authentication. Additionally, users can choose alternative services or platforms that align more closely with their privacy preferences. I was wondering if it would operate as a fanboy. At least it knows that it cannot determine truth from untruth and acknowledges that. Let me just summarize the takeaways here. I don't need ChatGPT to tell me that AI is going to be a great analytical tool used by intelligence agencies because instead of human analysts, the AI is better at spotting patterns. And that is what intelligence gathering is, after all: pattern detection. But the other takeaway here that ChatGPT does not dispute is that the AI, like the neural engine, can be great tools to perform the analysis of data locally on a device without using the internet or an active human controller. This could be the justification used for mass surveillance via AI. No human is initially involved until the user content is flagged. This is the move where it's going to. This is what's featured in the Apple neural engine and also added to Google's Tensor chip, though it is not yet used publicly for this neural network purpose. So I project that in the future, the world leaders and big tech can immediately surveil people based on behaviors and profiles it can identify as patterns to the extent of even pre-crime. But as ChatGPT accepts here, this is fraught with danger since misprofiling is possible and people can be subjected to injustices that may be initiated by an AI. The final takeaway I discovered is that ChatGPT does not really know who I am yet. It likely culled data from people discussing me or guessing my background. ChatGPT is not an AI built with knowledge of every person. That could be the job of another customized AI, more likely than not trained by data you have fed Google. It knows less about me since I control what is known about me. That is your only protection against AI. Be careful about what is known publicly about you. Folks, I have privacy products that we make available and help support this channel. We have a Brax 2 privacy phone running an open source Brax OS. We also do flashing services to de-Google other phone models in our store, as well as stocking pre-flashed pixels. We have a VPN service, Bytes VPN, which has features like Tor routing, DNS obfuscation, and ad blocking. We have Braxmail, which is a metadata-free way of doing email, where no one knows where the message originated from. These products are on my app, BraxMe. Come visit us there. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and once again, see you next time.